use your powers for evil.
Evil? Your evil is mine.
Welcome back to Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast. I'm Charles Skaggs. Welcome back. And with me, as always, my partner in time, Jesse Jackson.
Hello, Charles. Glad to be here. We are getting close to the end of the season, but we're going to embrace the Dr. Seuss quote, "Don't be sad it's over, be glad it happened." And boy, we have a fun one that happened this week.
Or I would have gone with the Crowded House. Don't dream it's over.
Very nice.
Hey now, hey now.
There you go. You're very musical this season.
I'm a child of the 80s. So
there you go.
I'm going to dredge that one out. So apologies for that. So, we're going to talk about the lie of the land.
Little pie there, a little pun there, isn't there?
Yeah, because you figure, well, okay, you're getting the lie of the land, which is, okay, you're getting the scope of what's out there,
yes.
The sense, the feeling for what's out there, but also the lies behind what's out there.
Absolutely. That is so true.
So a little double entendre there, a little double meaning to that.
And that's Mr. Toby, right? Adding us that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this one was written by Toby Whithouse, who, of course, you may be familiar from the UK version of Being Human.
Yes.
Which he created, and also the episodes School Reunion, The Vampires of Venice, The God Complex, A Town Called Mercy, and the two-parter from last season, Under the Lake Before the Flood.
Oh, okay.
Which featured the great da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Yes.
With the great rock opening credits by Peter Capaldi.
Absolutely.
So, and this was also directed by Wayne Yip. So we have that.
Okay.
He was a recent director to Doctor Who, I believe. And as you mentioned, it's the 8th episode from Series 10. So we've hit the 2/3 mark of the season.
Yes.
Just like that, we're at 66.6666% complete. Or installed. Take your pick.
I was promised there'd be no math on the podcast.
Well, that's what I do all day, and I just worked all day, so that's probably where my brain is at.
That probably is.
Apologies for that. But yeah.
No problem.
So that stupid real life thing getting in the way.
I hear you.
All right. So before Skype crashes on us, as it inevitably will, because Skype.
Absolutely.
I want to, let's see, but real quick before I dive into some notable cast members, there's only a couple, but I want to get your take on this episode, Jesse.
I liked it a lot. I thought it wrapped up fairly interesting.
Mm-hmm. Was it satisfying?
It was. We have a. I don't remember. I don't think this got covered. Yeah, we did. So we have a little special bonus that we'll talk about later. But I thought they set the premise that these guys were kind of bullies, and they didn't want to conquer the world. They wanted to be invited and loved. And so I thought how they defeated the villain worked from my perspective. There were several things that made me smile because of our podcast. Um, Charles's theory that we may get an early regeneration for like half a second. I'm like, oh my
You
God.
You were suckered in, weren't you?
I was just
Well,
for half
okay,
a second.
The only reason I mentioned that was because it was featured in some of the trailers, that footage.
Okay.
But of course, it turned out to be not so much.
Right.
So
And,
it's kind of a regeneration.
Yes.
That fail music that cut out early on me.
The other thing that made me smile is we had talked a lot about Bill's mom and the significance and the doctor getting the photos and all this in, and we got a really nice payoff. That we had always thought maybe there was something more about her mom, but at this point, if that's all it ever is that she was the, kind of the method to Bill having this faith, I'm happy with it. So really liked it a lot, thought it was a really strong. I still don't know if we needed the fantasy virtual reality episode for the first of the three.
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like it was basically like just a way to fill that episode or that slot in the season.
Yeah.
I think we could have excised it and just made it a two-parter.
Yeah.
And had another story completely separate, and I think it would have been much more effective.
Yeah, I think because if you rewrote these two episodes and introduced the monks and kind of had everything, I think it would have worked fine.
Right.
So yeah, okay.
But I think they wanted to play around with the doctor being blind for a while.
Yes, absolutely, and that's
so.
Okay.
So I'm sure they decided, well, okay, we'll just stitch this together.
Yeah, and
these ideas together.
And it was not certainly part 2 and part 3 were a lot stronger than part 1, but just for the audience who's keeping score, you had said, hey, Jesse, you might change your opinion of the episode after you see the finished story. And I said, yes, I might. And I ended up not.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, but it's still certainly not a horrible.
But the potential was there.
There was the potential, and I was wide open to that. Friend of the show, Ken Schaefer, and I don't remember if he said this. If I told you this, yes. He, by the way, he told me today at lunch that he listens to the podcast at work as he's crunching numbers, similar to you.
Good for you, Ken.
And every time we say shout out to Ken, he raises his hand at his cubicle and waves to, and no one knows why he's doing it, which I just love.
Well, Ken, you need to do a screenshot of that, or I mean, if you've got a cell phone with a camera, maybe you take a picture or something like that, or have Jesse take a picture of that.
Yeah.
So so that we can see that in all its glory. Post it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, that was fun. All
right, so let me go into.
Yeah, go ahead, go for it, because now I don't remember the point I was going to make. So
that's
go.
Okay.
Okay.
That's okay. I figured, we kind of got digressed there.
Okay, go for it.
And so let me talk really quickly about a couple of notable cast members in this episode.
Yes, and then the world is waiting to see what song titles you came up with for topics.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. The world is waiting for you and the power you possess.
Very nice.
Sorry, I'm kind of stuck on a Wonder Woman groove this week. Can't imagine why.
Yes.
All right. So, in addition to the return of Michelle Gomez as Missy,
big thumbs up.
Yep. Which is always welcome. I want to mention the actress Rosie Jane, who plays Bill's mom, who still does not have a name yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because she was in a previous episode of Doctor Who.
Oh.
She played a High Council member, a Time Lord.
Ooh.
A very, very important Time Lord in the Day of the Doctor.
Ah, nice.
So, now wouldn't it be interesting? No, I don't think Bill's mom is a Time Lord, but
no.
Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But just thought it was interesting. And then also Beatrice Kernew, she plays a group commander in this story. She was actually in the James Bond movie Skyfall.
Okay.
And she's listed as inquiry member. So I think that was during M's hearing, if
Okay.
you remember that movie.
I do remember that movie.
So I'm guessing that's where she was featured in. So
Okay.
it might. So if you're in the mood to Easter egg hunt, that might be a good thing to do or check out
Okay. Good.
and let us know.
Okay.
But yeah, we have another James Bond connection. So I just wanted to mention that real quick.
Very nice.
All right. So since you're so eagerly awaiting,
I am. Yes.
you get more out of these song title, these little topic titles more than anything. I think more than many of our listeners.
Sometimes it's all about just making your co-host amused. Entertaining your
Exactly.
co-host is
Exactly.
yes.
Well, I think if anybody deserves to be entertained right now, I think it's you, Jesse.
Thank you, Charles. I appreciate it. Yay.
So, all right. So our first topic today,
Yes.
talking about my faked regeneration.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that's obviously a reference to the Who's talking about my generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about my faked regeneration, and now of course that's the Doctor, who proceeds to pull a fast one and psych all of us out.
Right.
Into thinking, is he going to regenerate? Well, of course not, because he's listed for the rest of the season.
Right.
But
Did you at all go maybe, or you didn't?
well, I mean, of course you're going to go maybe. I think
Okay.
because for one thing, like he went full tilt. He's got the arms extended, the head's pointing up, everything's all whooshy energy.
Yeah.
But what got me was, again, it's episode 8.
Yeah.
I would think that if he was going to regenerate, it would have been a lot more dramatic than that.
Right.
And so when, it turns out to be nothing more than shock value to kind of snap Bill and test her.
Now, do you still have the theory that he may regenerate in the last episode of the season, and we get kind of the Christmas special will be
A farewell tour or something?
Yes, exactly.
It's possible. It's
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
I kind of hope not, because now that they've played the regeneration card,
Right.
I think playing it again just 4 weeks later
Yeah.
would feel a little cheap.
Yeah.
So
Unfortunately, there is a lot of greatness living in this modern era that we live in.
yeah,
There is not even going back to childhood, Charles and Jesse, but we just go back to Titan Talk, Jesse and Charles.
we should explain that Titan Talk was a fan group of fans of DC Comics new Teen Titans characters. Okay.
And Charles and I were both members in the early 90s.
Yes.
So
that shows how old we are.
yes. And if you go back in time and first off, if
I'm going back in time, there's a lot I'm doing first.
But if we were go there, first off, Titan Talk Charles would be not shocked that there's a Twin Peaks new season, but it took that long. But we'll get past that.
I would be shocked.
Okay, you would be?
I would be shocked, but I would be pleasantly shocked.
If you told him...
If you had told me then, in the 90s, that there would be brand new Doctor Who and Twin Peaks on at the exact same time...
Right. And
I'd be what?
And to say nothing of, you can spend 2 hours a week talking on a podcast, which we wouldn't know what it was,
exactly
about
I'm from the 90s.
new comic book TV series that are good.
Yes.
You know, we would be shocked. However,
Yes.
the downside of this is, in this informational age, we know Peter Capaldi's leaving. We know that he is going to die and regenerate,
Right.
you know, toward the end of the Christmas special, probably. They can't shock us. You couldn't be shocked about Tenet. You couldn't be shocked about, you know, Matt Smith. You know, and so that's the
So you're saying
downside.
that would be a way to shock us by having it in the season finale as opposed to the Christmas special later
Yes,
this year.
especially since they have not officially announced who is the next Doctor, and you would assume the Christmas special is already filmed, right?
I don't know if it's been filmed yet or not.
Okay. Anyway,
I mean, it could be. Don't
yeah.
quote me on that, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure. So
So we're going to talk about this in a little bit.
I'm not one of these like diehard
Yeah.
the diehard Whovians that follow that
Yeah.
tracks down everything on the internet day
Yeah.
by day.
Exactly.
I only do it half a day by day. But,
Yes.
You know.
I liked seeing the Doctor kind of doing the voice of the official propaganda voice of the monks. They've
Right.
been here forever, and you know.
So did that throw you at first, where the Doctor is actually appears to be working for the monks?
Now I had not seen the
'Cause I- 'cause I-
regeneration scene,
Because I
but
thought
I
that
had
was
seen.
I thought that was a great opening,
I thought it was too,
a great teaser.
and I also
Especially Capaldi's like really broad, like evil smile
Yes.
as he's like looking, pointing his head toward the camera.
he has such a great fake smile. You know,
Mhm.
see, I'm smiling. I very 1984ish.
Yes.
You know, because they would
Very dystopian.
Yeah, and also the changing of the information. You know, there's a scene in 1984 where, and I do not remember the countries, but they're at war with country A,
You're
and all of
talking
a
about
sudden
the movie or the book?
in the book, and in
Okay.
the book, they at one point they switch and it's country B they're at war with, and everyone is shocked at who put these horrible banners about country A, our enemy, they're our friend, and you know everyone just switched on a dime, and you know it was an interesting, and I may be jumping ahead a little bit, but the idea that the thought police are there, you know, to arrest you because you go, this isn't what it's always been. So I wondered.
This isn't normal.
No, I was going along with the ride, going, maybe the Doctor really has been brainwashed a little. You know, maybe the cost of him getting his eyesight is that they've kind of warped him a little bit. I was kind of wait and see where it was. And then we get the reveal, of course, that this was an elaborate test. And we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we could. Well, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Do you
mean, I
want to
think
talk
we
about
could, well, we can talk a little bit about it because I mean, it is kind of related. I mean, it's pretty much centered around the Doctor.
Yeah,
and,
so
Bill's reaction to the Doctor. So I kind of so essentially, we have like basically Bill finds out that the Doctor is cooperating willingly. At
yeah,
least she thinks, with the monks,
yes,
and he kind of feeds into that. He's like, look, you know, he's trying to prove his loyalty.
Yeah.
He says, well, hey, she just told me something in code.
yeah.
And like, you know, and she's all like freaked out. She's like, oh crap.
Yeah, when he goes, that was a trick question.
Right.
You know, it was actually at the Thames, and she was trying to, if I had not pointed this out, she could tell I was under suspicion. You know, he calls for the guards, he calls for the monks, let me do the talking. He even gave that, I thought his point of let me do the talking is, I care about you, I want you to be safe, so I'm going to protect you, but I am not going to do this, you know.
Right. So yeah, so she's all upset.
Yes.
She's confused, and she does talk about how she was like, she was having trouble thinking.
Yes.
But she does something I think, extremely uncharacteristic from what we've seen from Bill so far.
Yes.
She grabs the gun
Mm-hmm.
of a nearby soldier and shoots the doctor. And that struck me as like, okay, Bill, not one episode ago, professed her love for the doctor and was, wanted him to have his eyesight restored to save his life at the expense of humanity, really.
Yeah.
So I found that, I mean, I get, that's kind of why it just seemed forced to me, I guess. That it just seemed very out of character, even with it when she's not really thinking clearly.
And
that's the first thing she's gonna go to is like, okay, I've got to shoot him cold dead.
And
I can't shoot him in the leg.
What did she think was going to be accomplished by shooting him, Charles?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Because I mean, okay, if she panicked, I get that. I get that she's panicking. I get that she's knocked off her feet. She's unsteady by everything going on.
Right.
But yeah, it just struck me as just this. Okay, we need to have Bill shoot the doctor, just so we can do this like psych out, regeneration wink at the fans.
Yeah, and
it seemed like it just really cheap to me.
And I was once again, I think the beauty sometimes of watching a TV show.
Am I wrong?
No, I think this is, while you're watching the show, I tend to I'm going with the flow. And it has to really raise a red flag or a hand wave. This is after the fact. You start peeling back the onion, and why have this test, as we'll hear Ken talk about later. Why do the test? Because she's already told Nardole what's going on. What exactly are they trying to accomplish? Now, they did go ahead.
I think. Well, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
I was just going to say, I think the doctor just wanted proof for himself.
Okay.
And apparently this is what convinced him that he could trust Bill.
And I did like the nice, they set up and then had a nice payoff on all the guards had been unbrainwashed. And then he talks about you having to listen to this recording or else you would go back to your brainwashing. And we said that was funny about the guard. One guard forgot to change his bullets into blanks. It was funny. So I think it works, but I think after the fact sometimes you go, hey, wait a minute, is there some logic in that? So I think, good point.
Big hand wave.
Yes, a very big hand wave.
Yeah, and as far as the regeneration, the faked regeneration.
Yeah.
We've seen the doctor voluntarily release his regeneration energy before.
Yes.
Like in that one scene where he heals River Song's broken wrist with it.
Right. Yes.
And then I think that was the wedding of River Song, or
it's the New York one.
The Angels Take Manhattan. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Yeah, so you're right. It was in the Angels Take Manhattan. Yeah, he volunteered, and she gets mad at him for doing that.
Yes, she does.
So I can only imagine what she would think about this.
Yeah.
But he's able to switch it on at will.
And they even laugh about it because he tells Nardole, "Was it too much? Was it generation?" No, it was good. So,
it's just something in the Moffat era where he likes to do that for cheap tricks.
And I felt bad a little bit for Bill because, Bill does feel guilty that she made this decision. And he throws it in her face. I didn't ask you to give me my sight back.
Well, maybe he's a little angry at her.
Yeah, I guess so, but it just seems...
Because that was kind of the vibe I got from that scene, was that he was angry that she made this deal. He told her not to.
Yeah.
He was perfectly okay with being blind.
Yes.
And now, granted, if she hadn't, he wouldn't have been able to escape that vault.
Right.
or that sealed room in the lab
Yes.
of last week's episode because of the numbers on the doors that he couldn't see.
Right.
But I'm still thinking, yeah, okay, if it comes
Yeah.
between Earth being subjugated and my life,
Hmm.
I'm okay with you letting me die.
Yeah, and um,
I've been around 2,000 years. I'm ready. I could check out at any time. I'm good.
I did love the doctor's arrogance that he would be able to handle this, um, the reprogramming everyone and then coming up
Right.
with the reason. So that part of the episode I thought was good. I thought the doctor was smart, and but
Yeah.
now
But I
that you're
think, but I,
pointing it out,
but I think he was trying to teach Bill a lesson.
could be,
You
could
know,
be,
like, hey, you made the wrong call,
yeah.
and I'm gonna
Okay.
make you. I'm gonna make you squirm a little bit because of
Okay,
it.
all right.
Like he was punishing her a little bit.
I think you could be right.
That was just my take on it. I could
Okay,
be wrong.
no, I think that's a fair take.
All right. So, all right. Anything else about the doctor and the monks? I know that later in the episode, um, well, we could probably get into that a little later because I have another topic for
Okay, good
that
deal.
whole thing.
All right.
But all right. So let's move on to my second topic: Kill Bill, Volume 3,
Very nice.
which of course is Missy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of we get to finally go inside the vault, catch up with old Miss. See what I did there, old Miss?
Yes.
And that's for you college football fans, and that or basketball fans, I should say. That catch up with her and we get a little exposition that Missy, the master, has encountered the monks before, and explains to the doctor that the best way to resolve this problem is to kill Bill.
Yeah. So we will have to spend some time unwrapping where Missy is and how she got there.
Right.
And is she really there, or is this an elaborate con? But
with the master, nothing is
yeah.
off the table.
I loved when we do our Game of Thrones and American Gods podcast. Our format is we pick a favorite scene and we discuss it, and then other people comment, and you go around, and that's you end up talking about most of the episode. Them in the vault would be, I think, my favorite scene.
Right.
That I loved everything about it. I loved Bill's confusion. I love the doctor's talking, and I love the Missy doing the hot and cold game.
Right.
And her talking about, I'm here, aren't I? You know, I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to help you. And she still was Missy, like, I'm sorry if your +1 doesn't make it,
Yep.
awkward. And
now we don't really believe that she's trying to change, do we? This is the master. I don't care what body he or she is wearing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the master. You don't trust the master. The master is always lying.
Well, rule number 1, the doctor lies, so why wouldn't the master?
Exactly.
Something is going on, and
Yes.
I'm very curious about this, how this happened and what's going on. I did love Missy saying, I've made a gun out of leaves. You don't think I could get out of this vault?
Yes.
And that's a very...
I think the doctor knows that.
I think it's a very classic Silver Age Lex Luthor type comment. That... Yeah, take a drink. Yes, comic book reference. But, that arrogance of Luthor, because I can get out of here anytime I want. This is the gray prison jumpsuit Luthor.
I would have gone with a more modern reference by saying it's the orange suit Lex Luthor from Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman.
Okay, that yes could have been, yeah, but
If you've read the classic.
I'm a child. I'm a child of Kurt Swan's
Yes, you're a
Superman.
child of the 50s.
Yes,
Yes.
I am. 60s anyway. So
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, so what were your thoughts about that scene and Missy and Bill? The doctor not willing to sacrifice Bill. What
Right.
are your thoughts?
Well, obviously, it's always a joy to watch Peter Capaldi and Michelle Gomez playing off one another as the 12th Doctor and Missy, because by now, here in this third season, they know their characters cold. They're in their prime, and it's just you've got all that previous baggage that carries over and gives every line just a little bit more gravitas, right?
I totally agree with you. She is a joy to watch. He is a joy to watch, and then back and forth is just
They've got such great chemistry playing off one another. Where you could actually believe that yes, they used to be friends,
yes.
and now there's something else,
Hmm.
and there's that occasional regret.
And she's just the right amount crazy.
Yes,
We've talked a lot about the
like John
previous mess.
John Sims' master was just too crazy.
Yeah, a little too crazy. And so you couldn't get that. Not that
Yeah,
him and Tennant didn't have play off well, but this is, um,
I think I think Peter Capaldi and Michelle Gomez play off each other much better
yeah,
than Tennant and John Sim.
absolutely. But what I wanted to ask you, as a connoisseur of all
Yes,
classic Who's,
yes.
are their relationship one of the best compared to the classic Doctors and the classic Master?
I would say so. I would say that you can't really beat John Pertwee and Roger Delgado,
Right.
the first Master
Okay.
and the third Doctor, because that was the first Master, so that basically that was the gold standard.
Right.
And it was Holmes versus Moriarty.
Got it.
And so it was the definitive Doctor Master relationship.
Hmm.
That's not to discount what Michelle Gomez and Peter Capaldi do, because you had another great Master and Doctor relationship. I thought Peter Davison's Doctor and Anthony Ainley's Master, the third Master.
Okay.
I thought they were, they Anthony Ainley fought the Fifth Doctor, I think 4 or 5 times. So before Davison's Doctor regenerated into Colin Baker's.
Okay.
But so yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, you look forward when they showed up, and they traded barbs, and it was just this great bantering dynamic,
Hmm.
because you had Davison's Doctor, who was the noble wannabe hero,
Yes.
and playing off against Anthony Ainley's mustache twirling, or beard twirling, if you will,
Yeah.
Master. So, yeah, I definitely rank it's up there. I mean, it might be a very, very close number 2 to Ainley, or excuse me, to John Pertwee and Roger Delgado, in my opinion.
Well, I think what this Master Doctor combo has going for it is obviously two great actors.
Right.
Obviously a great showrunner and a talented Doctor writer.
Right.
We all have our issues with every Doctor Who writer, but overall, I think this is, Moffat has done us well,
Yeah.
and
You have
and
the
then
benefit that these are more like sophisticated stories compared to
yes,
the 70s or the 80s.
and you have that history that many times has been
Right.
commented and played commented on or implied that they were friends at one time. And
Right.
when you build all that in with two wonderful actors, as you said, you feel that friendship. You feel that weight. The scene at the end when she is crying
Right.
and admitting about all the people she's killed, and she is angry. You didn't tell me about this.
Right.
And he, when he says, trust me, I'm sorry, but trust me, this is good, she seems to accept that. She seems to, and that's
So are
that's
you
amazing.
buying that? So are you buying that she's actively trying to change?
You know what?
Because
I know
I'm
I
not.
shouldn't trust the doctor. I know I shouldn't trust the master. I shouldn't trust the
Yeah.
doctor for that matter.
Right. Wow.
I think something is driving her. I don't know what her ultimate motive is, but
She always has an end game.
Yes, I am going to give her the benefit of the doubt. Surprisingly, Mr. Optimist Jesse is going to believe the best in Missy, and I may get my little Doctor Who fanboy heart crushed. I don't think she'll stay good.
Right.
I think the Master, you need that villain.
Right.
I mean, and so I know she can't stay good.
So something will happen to send her back to the dark side.
But I think at this point, I think she sincerely means that, and then something outside herself, some outsourced force, will get her back, where she will say, I can almost see, it's not worth the effort. If I'm not going to believe anyway, it goes back to, and I don't know if you had this early in your marriage, Charles, but I tried to clean house, and Linda didn't like how I cleaned, so I went, okay, I'm not going to clean at all. If you're going to remake the bed every time I make it, why try? And Linda very quickly said, okay, you do your best, and I am not going to criticize you, and we'll work on, learning to accept. And so if Missy is trying to do her best, and it's not good enough, I could see her going, blanket, I'm just going to go be evil. So that's
F it, I'm done.
Yeah, that's what I think. Something along that is going to happen. But for now, I'm saying she is sincere and she is trying to do, but I don't know why.
Okay, well, that's on. I respect that. I'm glad you put yourself out there.
Well, and I'm partly doing it for the show.
I get that.
Because if we both agree that she's going to be, that this is a Lon Con,
it makes a much better bet, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So you're going to take the side that, okay, she's actively trying, but something will happen to just ruin that, and she'll go right back to being a bad guy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think she will regenerate.
Ooh, you think she's going to regenerate along with Peter Capaldi's Doctor?
I think so. We're going to lose Missy as well. And I'm thinking that as I get through this, I think how we're going to see the previous Master is in Missy's head, being the devil on her shoulder versus saying, why even try? They're not going to listen. You should just embrace this madness.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
All right. So I might as well go ahead and put myself out there.
Yeah,
too.
Please.
Okay, so since you're Mr. Optimist,
yes,
I'm going to be Mr. Realist.
I love it.
Not Mr. Pessimist. I'm going to be Mr. Realist.
Yes.
And say that Missy, it's the Master. She's got a plan.
Okay.
Whether it works all the way that she wants it to, that's a whole nother story. Especially when the Doctor's involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's playing the long game.
Yeah.
I think she is manipulating the Doctor. I think she's just going along, biding her time, and eventually she knows she's going to get out of that vault voluntarily. She doesn't have to force her way out.
Mm.
She's a Time Lord. She's got all the time in the world, and she's waiting for something.
Okay.
So
I like it.
So we'll see. And I believe that she won't regenerate with Peter Capaldi's Doctor.
Okay.
I think we might see her with the 13th Doctor.
Okay.
At
I
least
would certainly love that.
at least once.
Yeah, I would certainly love that. I am hoping the new Doctor gets Bill.
Yeah.
Again.
I think Michelle Gomez just enjoys this role so much.
Yeah.
And the way she does all these video clips and on Twitter, that I don't think she's, even though Capaldi's ready to hang it up, I don't think
Okay.
she is.
That would be awesome.
So I'm hoping I'm right about that at least.
I hope you are too, because that would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So now we staked our claims.
Okay.
We'll see who's right.
It would also be interesting to see Bill and Missy have scenes like Claire and Missy had, with a new Doctor and kind of this going there. That would be very interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Good.
Okay. All right. So let's move on.
Yes.
To the third topic. Don't you know you're gonna shock the monks, eh?
Okay,
a bit of a forced pun there.
Yes, that may be a little bit. That may be your best stretch ever, or worst.
But it's a topic title.
It's awesome.
I can make that as horrible as I want.
Absolutely.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna shock the monks, eh?
Yeah.
Which is a nice nod to "Shock the Monkey" by Peter Gabriel.
Yes.
Right here on the countdown.
Yes.
Case. And this, of course, is Bill and the Monks.
Yes.
Where we have the Doctor attempts to basically the Doctor, Bill, Nardole, and the Commandos. They infiltrate the Monks' pyramid in London at the end of the episode, so that the Doctor can hijack their broadcast with his mind to break the psychic transmission that's going on. Okay, so we have the Doctor attempting to link his mind to the monk controlling it.
And it was a different looking monk, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And so the Doctor is confident that, oh, yeah, my superior intellect can take him out. And then the Doctor ends up like thrown against the wall or whatever.
Yes.
And doesn't quite work as well as he thought.
Yeah.
So it's up to Bill. And Bill intends to sacrifice herself, which is what I want to talk about here, where she links her own mind to the monks, despite the Doctor saying, no, don't do that. I don't want to lose you. And you've already have this caring between the two.
Yes.
And then you have like the whole sequence where what the monks are broadcasting on the screens are replaced by images of Bill's mother.
Yes.
So I kind of wonder what you thought of that whole thing. So now they've set it up.
No, I've liked everything about that. I loved the premise. Mm-hmm. I loved the Bill going back and forth to arguing with the Doctor. I love the Doctor's arrogance and how it wasn't working. And then originally Bill wasn't working either. She was willing to sacrifice herself because of what Missy had said. Bill's like, this is my fault. And if I have to go, I have to go. And then...
Well, to be fair, it was her fault.
Yes, it was. And then...
But she did get she got us into it, and she got us right back out again. So credit there.
Yeah, and I thought, we had her talking to her mom and sharing what's going on. And then to have that payoff was great.
Right. It's basically the power of love.
Yes.
Is what defeats the monks.
Yes.
And because of Bill's love for her mom.
Right.
And the memories that she has, which are so strong and vivid in her mind.
Yes.
And that apparently is what snaps humanity, because it's being transmitted
right
all over the world. And that's apparently what wakes everybody up from being under the monks' control.
Yeah. And love wins. We all know that.
Right.
And so I thought that was really well done. I was happy with the resolution. I was happy with that payoff for Bill's mom, as we talked about before. And I I love the kind of the moment at the end when, and I don't have quotes this episode. I kind of short time because of traveling
Yeah,
this weekend.
that's okay. No
Yeah, I knew
problem.
you have some, but and I'm sure you'll talk about this, but him talking about why he puts up with humanity. And
Yes, I do have that one.
okay. I just think that was a wonderful kind of summation of the Doctor and the companions of their relationship. It's more than just a pet, as
Right,
Missy calls them, or a stray, as the
right.
TARDIS calls them.
A
It,
puppy. Yeah,
yeah, he sees what is great about humanity in these companions he picks, and those are the reasons why, for
right.
what they can be, to quote the Richard Donner Superman, they could be a great people, Kal-El. You
If they
know,
wish to be.
yes. So right,
Yes, which is one of my favorite quotes. Yes.
absolutely.
All right. And now I'm all misty-eyed, and I want to watch Christopher Reeve Superman. So thanks a lot.
Okay.
All right. So so we get the monks abandon Earth, and I was happy that Bill got her redemption because I
Yes.
was kind of in the doctor's camp on this one. I was a little pissed at her.
Yes.
I mean, I get why she did it. I understand that logically, but the stakes were too great, in my opinion.
Right.
So I was kind of miffed at her. But again, like I said, she got us into it and she got us right back out. So credit there. All right. We'll just call it a wash and move on.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm glad she got redemption.
Me too.
And hopefully redemption in the other fans' eyes as well.
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about this episode?
No, I think a little sad we didn't get the third appearance of Penny.
Yeah.
Just
we got 4 more episodes at least.
okay, yeah.
Maybe 5.
Yeah, we'll see. It was good. It was very good. I thought this was a great episode. I was very happy to see it, and we'll kind of wait and see what happens, right?
Yeah. Oh, I did want to mention real quick that if you're looking for Easter eggs for this episode, check out the return of Magpie Electricals. That electrical shop that first debuted in the Idiot's Lantern back in season 2,
Ah, okay.
which turned up here. Here it turns up. It's turned up several times over the years, and it turned up again here as a shop where Bill watches one of the Doctor's broadcasts
Okay, very
in
nice.
the store windows. So
Okay, good.
that was a nice little Easter egg. Shout out to fans.
That
So-
is. Okay.
So that's great. That's definitely a modern Easter egg since it's been going on since season 2,
Nice.
which is now 11 years old, if you can believe it.
That is awesome.
Where
Good.
does the time go?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So you mentioned best lines of the episode.
Yes, please.
So you say you don't have any.
I
so
do not have any.
Okay.
So,
So I might
please.
as well go ahead with start with a quote that you brought up,
Thank
Jesse,
you.
where Bill says, "Why do you put up with us then?" And the Doctor replies, "Because in amongst 7 billion, there's someone like you. That's why I put up with the rest of them."
Yeah, I love that. I love, like I said, I think that just
Yep.
tells you so much about
That
the
you're
Doctors.
1 in 7 billion.
Yes, absolutely. Good.
Yeah, so it's great. I like that. Bill had another great quote, I thought. She asked the Doctor, "Why have you got a woman locked in a vault? Even I think that's weird, and I've been attacked by a puddle."
That was greatness. Yes.
That was hilarious.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just one of those lines that only you can only utter on Doctor Who.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yes.
I've been attacked by a puddle.
Yeah.
And my last quote is from Missy because we can't go without having Missy get one of the good zingers.
Right.
So she tells the Doctor in that little face off in the vault, "Your version of good is not absolute. It's vain, arrogant, and sentimental. If you're waiting for me to become all that, I'm going to be here for a long time yet.
I like that. I liked it a lot. And we still don't know why she's doing this, and we should get a payoff by the end of the season, don't you think, Charles?
Oh yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Yeah,
Okay. Good deal.
yeah. I'm guessing that we obviously I don't think we've seen the last of Missy for a
Okay.
while. So
Great.
yeah, I mean, so yeah, she'll be around. I mean, we still have the Ice Warriors coming up,
Ooh, yes.
and the old school Cybermen,
Nice.
and the return of John Sim as the Sixth Master. Yes, the Sixth
Yes.
Master.
Okay.
So yeah.
Good.
So we still got a lot. So I'm guessing at the very least she'll be there for the Master episode,
Mm-hmm.
the other Master episode,
Right.
which I was hoping they would call the Two Masters, but they didn't ask me to call it that. All right. So do you have a rating?
I do. I like this one a lot, so I'm gonna give it 8.5. Blanks shot at the Doctor.
Okay.
It's a good episode. I think, especially now that we kind of unwrapped it, there's a few hand waves.
You feel a little better about it?
Yes, I do. But I'm not quite a 9 or 9.5, but a solid 8.5.
Okay. You liked my explanation that the Doctor was probably punishing Bill?
Yes, I do. I like that a lot.
Stunt?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Good.
We're totally in sync. I gave it all 8.5 as well.
Nice.
I gave it 8.5 banned boxes of comics because, as we learned in this episode, apparently the monks are not too fond of us comics fans, and apparently you could get sent to 10 years in a labor camp just for having a box of comics. Which means I am so screwed, you guys.
Yes, I am so glad you brought that up. I had forgotten that point, and I wanted to make that. That is great. Yes, perfect.
Guys, I have 16,000 comics. I'm totally screwed.
Yes, you are. You are totally.
Yes. So so don't make deals with the monks, okay?
No, we don't.
Please, I'm begging you here.
Yes.
All right. So, as you might imagine, I have a reverse the polarity.
Yes, you do. So please tell me.
All right. So we're going to reverse the polarity, the neutron flow.
Okay.
Back to just 2007. I think this one's pretty obvious. The Last of the Time Lords.
Ah, yes.
The 13th episode of Series 3 in 2007. Again, that's just 10 years ago already, but just time flies.
Yes.
Written by Russell T. Davies. So, in this story, a year after the appearance of the Toclafane, so again, we have a nice little time jump. Because in this story, here in The Lie of the Land, it was 6 months since the monks had taken over. But in this story, it's been a year since the Toclafane arrived on Earth, and humanity is on the verge of extinction. And after her escape from the Valiant, Martha Jones, good old Martha, has been traveling around the world and avoiding the Master's detection, so we have the Master in play, through the use of a perception filter. Martha meets Thomas Milligan, a former doctor, and played by Tom Ellis of Lucifer fame. Little nod there.
Oh, that's nice. Yes.
Yeah. So this is what Tom Ellis was doing before Lucifer, you guys.
Good.
And they capture a Toclafane. So after they examine it, they discover the Toclafanes are the humans from the far future who took a rocket to Utopia in a couple of episodes back of this story. Because again, this was a 3-parter, so again we have the 3-parter connection.
Good.
And they were driven insane after discovering that Utopia was a lie. So we have the Lie of the Land.
There you go. Yeah.
So the Master created a paradox machine that would allow them to return to the past and kill their ancestors while avoiding the grandfather paradox.
Okay.
The Master's forces corner Martha and Thomas, and Martha surrenders, but Thomas rushes the Master in a rage and is shot. Bye-bye. The Master takes Martha back to the Valiant so he can kill her in front of the artificially aged Doctor.
Yes.
The Master readies the launch of the Toclafane fleets to conquer the rest of the universe, but Martha reveals that the real plan was for her to spend the last year following the Doctor's instructions. Martha has been preparing the surviving humans to concentrate their thoughts on the Doctor upon completion of the launch countdown. The Doctor spent the last year psychically integrating himself into the Master's Archangel network, which channels the collective psychic energy of the people to the Doctor. And once the Doctor gets rejuvenated, back to his old David Tennant self, he overcomes his captivity and defeats the Master. The Master's not happy, though, because the Master tries to detonate the Toclafane fleet, but the Doctor persuades him to stop, and the Paradox machine ends up destroyed.
Okay.
Time snaps back, and the events of the last year are erased, and the Toclafane disappear. Now, aboard the Valiant, everyone aboard can still remember what happened because they were at the center of events. So as you have the control, and it's been erased right away. So just like the monks.
Yes.
And the Master, though, is shot by his wife, Lucy. But the Master refuses to regenerate. So we had an almost regeneration in play. And so the Master dies in the Doctor's arms, leaving the Doctor to believe he is the last Time Lord.
Yes.
The Doctor cremates the Master's body on a funeral pyre and leaves, but sometime later, a woman's hand picks up the Master's signet ring from the ashes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun. The
Yes.
end. Or is it?
Yes.
And you break out the ending to the Flash Gordon movie.
Yeah, a great episode, one of my favorites in the modern era, and just a wonderful memory. So that's awesome.
So I gather we have some feedback from Ken Schaefer.
Yes, we do.
But you're going to have to attach that.
Yes. So
because you sent in an audio form.
Yes. Ken and I were meeting for lunch today, and usually Ken and I meet for lunch after we've recorded an episode. And today, because of me going to New Orleans to celebrate anniversary and birthday, we're not recording till later in the week. And
a very happy belated anniversary and belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you, Charles. It greatly appreciated. So we have a little 4 or 5 minute clip from Ken. Apologize for the background noise because we were at a Steak and Shake. So we'll talk about that, and then we're going to play this. And then Charles and I have already addressed some things, but we'll talk about some others.
Yep.
So I got to say, I am with Bill 1,000%. That was just a downright thing to do. Oops, sorry.
That's okay.
That is unnecessary to go to those links because Nardole already knew. They'd already had a crying session where she confesses that it's so hard fighting all this off and being, being clear when everybody else has been brainwashed. And so to go to that extent. Plus, this also shows us something that we've known, sort of, that actually Time Lords can volitionally release the regeneration area. I mean, we saw Romana do it, but she did it off screen. And although the Doctor has fought it other times, this time he just did it as an act of will, but didn't go through it the whole way and stop it.
The other thing I'm looking forward to talking to Charles tonight is, there's something about Bill's mom. They keep showing picture of Bill's mom.
Yeah, and she was so pivotal in allowing Bill to remain rooted and grounded and pushing it out. And it almost doesn't make sense because if she didn't really know her mom, she shouldn't be that connected to her, that her love for her would be so strong as to blow out all of the programming of the monks.
So my theory on that is that because she's wanted to know her mom so bad, she had an imaginary mom.
Well, she does.
Since,
yeah,
she
we've
talked
seen
about that. So she's always
yes.
done that, and so she talked to her. So that's why the connection is. That was good.
You notice how young the imaginary mom is.
Right.
Is that she looks like only like 5 years older than she is. You know, it could be an older classmate.
The other thing I'm really looking forward to talking to Charles about is Missy, and is this a sincere
yeah, see, that could go either way.
What drove this?
Something happened that caused these guys that kill people,
right?
You know, because the Masters killed thousands, probably tens of thousands of people. Right. You know, I mean, killed people whimsically. Missy killed people whimsically.
Yeah,
you know,
she
just
did.
You know, so either it is a colossal act, or he did something that blew up in his face in a worse way than, you know, so that it did override his cavalier attitude towards the life of everyone else. I can't imagine what that would be, you know, but there are better writers on that show than I, so, you know, they might come up with something, or it could all just be a big, huge facade. But if so, the Master's an even better actor than we have seen in the past, you know, because the whole tearing up thinking about all the people I've killed, you know.
It was very powerful.
It was really powerful. It was really well done.
Yeah.
She is such a good actress. It's amazing, you know. So I would hate to lose the Master as a foil and as but was it Charles that said that he would be up for a spin-off show of a reformed Master? Where did I hear that?
Oh, I don't remember if that was Charles or not, but I'm up to that too.
I think that would be. It certainly would be a much more interesting show than a stupid class, and you know, it would. You know, you could almost drift it towards more into the Torchwood, where he's reformed, but still not 100% good, you know, and have some of that dark.
A little bit of Lucifer.
I'm gonna do, a little of that Lucifer. I'm gonna do the bad stuff that needs to be done.
Yes.
That, you know, so that the Doctor doesn't have to spend all of his time bemoaning the fact that he's had to do all these things that he really didn't want to.
Very nice. Thank you, Mr. Ken Schaefer. You were mentioned often in the podcast, and so for those of you who don't know, we are at Steak and Shake here in Dallas, Texas, about to eat our lunch, and Ken said, "Hey, I have a couple comments," and I grabbed out the recorder. So apologize for the background noise, and as always, Ken, shout out, take a drink. We mentioned Ken Schaefer. Yes.
Wow, wasn't that great? That was a great feedback. And now I want a milkshake.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah,
I thought
always great to hear from you.
He agrees with you that you don't trust Missy, and I thought his comment about now, had you talked about a Master spinoff, a Missy spinoff, or had he heard that from someone else?
I think he might have heard that one from someone else.
I didn't remember.
But I agree with him that it would have been a Missy spinoff would be a much better than a Class spinoff that we got.
Or instead of the grumpy lady in Class that is forced to protect the
Miss
prince,
Quill.
What if we had Missy as a counselor at Class?
Missy would have just killed them all.
No, but if she was on this true redemption path. I think it would have been. I think it would have been good. I think his idea of Missy trying to reform, but doing all the nasty things that, you know, the Doctor worries, and Missy's like, oh boy, I can kill to make things right. Good. So that's a win-win.
I think every week we would have seen a new kid get killed off.
Maybe so. So yes, and
which again would have made Class a lot better.
It would have been.
All right.
So thank you, Ken, very much. I think we addressed most of your questions already, but I appreciate it, and thanks. That's all the feedback we had. I was a little sad Holly didn't send us an
Yeah.
email this week.
All right,
So
Holly, you're slacking. You're dropping the ball.
She doesn't love us anymore? No, I'm sure she
Uh,
was busy.
Well, I'm
Uh,
sure she loves you, but no love for Charles, I guess.
I don't know. We'll see.
Sad face.
So, Charles, if someone wants to give us feedback on the show, how can they?
Yeah. If you can email us, if you want to email us, you can reach us at Next Stop Everywhere SMG. Yes, that's very long. We know at gmail.com. Or the better way to do it is at our Facebook page, Next Stop Everywhere, the Doctor Who podcast. Or even better, you can reach us at Next Stop SMG
Yes.
on the Twitter machine, which is our official. And so if you would, please follow us there on Twitter and also give us a like on Facebook if you haven't already. We would greatly appreciate it. And also please subscribe to us and rate us on iTunes. We would definitely appreciate that as well.
Absolutely. There is a lot of Doctor Who podcasts out there, and having a higher rating and subscription helps new listeners find us.
Exactly. So if you like our podcast and you want to help us spread the word, we need your help, guys.
Absolutely.
So we're not asking for money here. We're just asking for a rating on iTunes. I don't think it's that much to ask for.
So I'm going to steal a line from one of my favorite podcasts, the Rock in the Suburbs, and they always say, our wives go, "Are you talking to Jim again?" So I'm going to steal this. So Linda's like, "Are you talking to Charles again? Does anyone listen to this?" So if we have subscribers, we can say to Charles, to Lori and Linda, "Yes, we have X amount of people that want to hear us." So yes,
we've got our numbers that we get
do.
from Rob Southgate, our wonderful editor, Rob Southgate.
We are very pleased that there is many of you out there.
Yeah, we've been kicking butt lately, guys, ever since the new season started. So hopefully we can carry that momentum all the way to the Christmas special. That would be nice.
That would be very nice.
All right, Jesse, where can they reach you?
So I am at Jesse Jackson DFW on Twitter, and I am also on Facebook, Jesse Jackson, Louisville, Texas. I am currently in the middle of doing an American Gods podcast called Roadside Attractions.
Very awesome, by the way.
Thank you. With the same guys that we do the Game of Thrones Small Council Matters podcast, which will be coming up in the next couple of months.
Right.
And then Set Lusting Bruce, my Bruce Springsteen podcast that is close to hitting 100. And I have...
Now I'm off the hook, right? I've recorded
yes, you have. You have done great. And coming up on my 100th episode is founding member and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame member Vinny Mad Dog Lopez.
Nice.
Very nice. He agreed to talk to me, and it was a wonderful discussion. So I'm pretty happy that I have a founding member of the E Street Band on my 100th episode.
And he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes. So
very cool.
So yes, very cool. And Charles, how about you? Cool. If they want to hear more of your wonderful voice and your thoughts on some shows,
I don't know how wonderful it is, but
yes,
but yeah, I would definitely appreciate it. Obviously, you can also hear me at the Phantom Zone podcast that I do with friend of the show, Karen Lindsay.
Yes.
Where we talk about all the comic book shows on television and more.
Yes.
So we definitely appreciate that. Also here in the Southgate Media Group. And my other podcast, Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast that I do with Zan Sprouse, where we talk about the new Twin Peaks that's airing on Showtime, Twin Peaks The Return. And we just watched episode 5. And we're going to be reviewing that just 2 days from now. So we'll be getting that hopefully posted soon. But our episode 4 should be hopefully posted shortly if Rob helps us out. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
So what I loved, I'm behind on Twin Peaks, but I have them on the DVR. But I have listened a little bit to your podcast, and I feel your pain on... I just wish we had episode titles, not just episode 1. I thought that was really funny.
Return, like the Return Part 1, the Return Part 2. And so I that's with the original series we had individual episode titles, and it was a lot easier to distinguish them.
Yes, absolutely. Good.
Still totally worth it. And if you're enjoying the new Twin Peaks, please check us out on Ghostwood. We
Good.
definitely would appreciate it. And of course, if you want to reach me, you can reach me at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine, at Charles Skaggs on the Instagram, Facebook, of course, Charles Skaggs, Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google Plus, and my blog of geeky things. Damn good coffee and hot. Double. So yeah, damn good coffee and hot, where I talk about Doctor Who, Next Stop Everywhere, and yes, a little Twin Peaks and Ghostwood and Phantom Zone, but and a lot of comic book and sci-fi, TV and movie news. I just posted my Wonder Woman review this morning. Finally, a little late on that, but I finally got it up there.
I am going on Saturday because of
you'll like
anniversary. Yes. Any final thoughts, Charles? I have a quote, but I
go ahead and give us your quote.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, listeners. We appreciate you listening to us and supporting us. It is. We love when we have new Doctor Who. We love talking classic Doctor Who.
We love hearing from all you guys.
We do. So please send us some updates. Charles, you are my partner in time, and I appreciate you so much. In honor of going to New Orleans, I am going to say keep hope alive and say, oh yes, there are no other colors without the blues.
Oh, great. Great quote.
Thank you. Yes. All right.
Bye.
Talk to you guys soon.
Bye, everyone.